Hi, I'm Leon Lovelace, and this is Unstoppable Force. Okay, I need your help. I need you to go to my GoFundMe campaign. I'm put a link in the description below. I need you to donate to my campaign so I can do this show full time instead of just part time. Okay, I got a news story for you, and it's from The Guardian, and it's about how senators want to look into President Trump's Commerce Secretary after the Paradise Papers leak. Democratic senators have asked two government watchdogs to investigate the finances of Wilbur Ross, the U.S. Commerce Secretary, after his business ties with Vladimir Putin's family were detailed in the Paradise Papers. So here they go again. At least this reporter and Democratic senators keep on pushing this bullshit about Vladimir Putin and Russia, meddling in the elections, and that's just bullshit. They didn't do it. They didn't do that. Alright. They said recent news about Ross called into question the current system of ethics disclosures from government officials, raised the possibility that new rules were required. More complete information may be necessary, they said. The Guardian and media partners disclosed this month that Ross retained an interest in a shipping company, Navigator, after joining the Trump administration. Navigator does millions of dollars in business each year with Silber, a Russian gas company part owned by the son-in-law of Putin, Russia's president. So since it's his son-in-law, and if he doesn't have a government position, then, officially it's not a Russian government that he's getting his investment money from. But of course, they could always do some corrupt shit of just funneling money through that company into Wilbur Ross. So that's problematic if they do that. But of course, we really don't know that they're doing anything corrupt like that. So, but I'm not just concerned about that he has an investment owned by Vladimir Putin's son-in-law, but I'm worried that he also has other investments from other corporations that are based in different countries, and he's going to impact legislation that's going to help benefit him from any trade deals or anything like that that just happens to come along while he's in office. Because even the moments clause that also talks about how a person that holds office under the title of nobility can't get any presents or any gifts from foreign governments, but that has nothing to do with from foreign companies. But if that was the case, any federal government officials still couldn't get money from a foreign government, or at least Congress and the cabinet members can't do it. And here they go right here. Blumenthal and Booker on Tuesday asked the GAO to investigate any commercial ties that Ross has or had with foreign governments and people under U.S. sanctions that may create a conflict of interest for Secretary Ross. Well, it's mostly the conflicts of interest that we're worried about. That these government officials are going to pass laws that benefit their pocketbooks over the people of the United States. So that's corruption that we really need to fight to get out of our political system. But also earlier, they did talk about there needs to be new rules governing this sort of conflicts of interest. But Congress, a few years ago in 2012, they did enact something called the Stock Act. That was supposed to make public knowledge of if these Congress members were doing any trading of stocks and bonds and those sorts of investments based on the legislation they were passing. So I got on OpenSecretsorg, and it does say right here that the law also explicitly prohibits covered officials from using non-public information gained in the course of their official duties for personal profit and makes private IPOs off limits for lawmakers. It also requires disclosure of employment negotiations to the ethics committee, the appropriate body. So it does look like this law says that you can't pass laws so you could enrich yourself. Because Jimmy Dore mentioned this on one of his shows, that only criminals enrich themselves when they're in office. So what happened with the Stock Act is that they also passed a loophole, so the employees of the Congress members and the president and vice president, they're exempt from revealing any information. So that's a big loophole where they could just do the investments on behalf of Congress and the president and so on and so forth. So of course that's fucking corrupt. We got to really push to make sure that they're not passing any loopholes just for themselves, because they need to be accountable to us and not enriching themselves to our detriment.